Hey folks, welcome back to Dan's Auto Diagnostics and Repair. Today we got a 2014 Dodge Ram 1500 with a 5.7 liter, and it's got a misfire on cylinder 6. I already started working on it, I scanned it, so what we're going to do first is we're going to do a little swaptronics, swap the coils, see if the misfire moves, and then go from there. There's the misfire, cylinder 6. So let's get under the hood, do a little swaptronics, and see what we got. Already started taking this off, so I got the cover off. I got this all loosened up and ready to go. Get that out of the way. And we're just gonna swap the coils first off and check it out. Here's the cylinder setup. We got a misfire on 6 here. So that's the coil we're going to take off. We'll switch it with 4, and then we'll check back with the scan tool. As you can hear in the background, we still got the jackhammering going on, so that sucks. And as you can probably tell, I'm very unhappy by it. And after this car, I'm going home. I'm not going to be working today. I'm only going to do this car because I had to take the customer of this vehicle to the rental car place. She's going to rent a car for the day. I told her I'd get it done for her right now. So I'm going to do it and get the heck out of here. I don't know if you caught that, but I took off 2 and 4. I didn't even take off 6. So we're going to still have to wrestle with this connector back in here. Come on. I don't know what it is with me and connectors nowadays, but they are just not cooperating with me at all. Got the red lock up, got the tab up, tab's pressed. Come on, it's just ridiculous. I got the connector curse. I don't want to break it. Let me try to, maybe I'll just push it in. Push and pry. Push and pry. Will I push and cry? Push and, I don't know, man. Man, that just feels nasty. It's coming. There it is. All right, we got it off. Now that's 6. I'm going to put the connector back on 2 because we're not going to deal with that. And we're just going to go ahead and take off 2 and 4, or 6 and 4. We're going to swap those 2. Pull that out. Look at that double spark plug gig. Yeah. That's one. I'm surprised it's not all the way in the back. That's usually what my life is like. Oh, and all the chipping has stopped. That's also surprising. Yeah, I might have a little bit of an attitude today. I might have a little bit of an attitude all week, I don't know. Gotta try to get away from all this disaster we got going on here. All right. Now we got a wire harness in the way. All right, there you go. So we're gonna just put these over here. Before I do that, I'm gonna take a quick look down those holes. Get the old bore scope out. Just want to see if we got anything stupid going on down here. Okay, nothing looking that abnormal. It's one plug. Nothing very obvious here. Nothing there. Can't really tell, just a little bit of crud, but looks good. Let's just swap them out. Get that one started. Oh, don't want to go too tight on that. I'm only going to put one screw in it. We're only doing some testing. One screw is all that we need right now. Alright. That's that. Bing, bang, boom. That's that. Plug it back up. Hopefully we can get it back off. I don't know if you can see too good, but I gotta get up on this ladder and reach over this hood or the fender, whatever. All right, those two are in. I'm gonna put on the air induction stuff temporarily. Just kind of hook everything up, plug it up, and let's give her a run. See if that misfire changes. Fire it up. Get the scan tool going. Back all the way out. I'll get you back on here when I pull everything up. We got everything cleared out. Fire the truck back up here. Give her a couple revs. Alright, now we'll go into PCM, which is currently green. Come on. Today, no DTCs. Once it switches over here, we might get some. I don't know why this just takes so long right now. No DTCs. Interesting. I'm just going to back all the way out of it and rescan. PCM still green. That's interesting. I still feel a little wiggle. There's definitely a misfire under there. I brought it back up. We're still on 6. So, time to take the plugs out. I went in and I was trying to check the engine power balance monitor. But for some reason, it's not letting us get in there. It's saying this function is not supported by the current vehicle. Oh well. Let's get all this stuff back off and dig in. Get it right after 6. Come on, connector, be nice. Be nice. Nope, not gonna be nice. It doesn't like me. Does not like me. Press. Press, press. I don't know. It is what it is. I don't want to break it. It just feels so... I can get it out a little bit. And it just doesn't want to come. But it feels like it's past the lock. Maybe that's it. I heard some kind of click. Could be doing it wrong. Or just not doing it the way it likes. Maybe I can only press it hard enough with this. I don't know. I'll put them back in for a little leverage. And go with the old. I'm gonna push it back down. Go with the old pressing with the pick. Gosh, man, it just, I got it past it, but it just doesn't feel good. All right, let's get them plugs out. I hope you guys are seeing this. I haven't checked on you in a while. Plug number 1. Coming out. Yeah, looks a little blackened. Let's go after plug number 2. Nothing extremely horrible yet. Now that one looks exceptionally different from the other one. Ow! And it's hot. And there we are on the bench. Yeah, we're gonna do plugs on this thing right now. You guys ever see that one news anchor guy that was like, "Stop the hammering! Stop the hammering!" I feel like that dude. The guys working the chip and hammer over there, they heard me yelling to you guys about stop the hammering, so they stopped. They thought I was yelling at them. That's kind of funny. Anyway, I got all the spark plugs out on this side. You can see the spark plugs much different from the ones that are burning over here on this side. See, it's that one. There's the comparison there. You can still see the white porcelain on that one. That one burned down. So this thing definitely needed some plugs. Why was I not filming the process, you might ask? Well, let me show you. Back in here, I have the 2 heater hoses in the way. So I had to undo that from this bracket, tuck it in the back. Then I got this big old wiring harness in the way, so you can imagine how bad that was. And then the extension won't go down in there with the socket on it or with the ratchet on it. So I gotta send the socket down first, then attach this to it, then attach the ratchet to it. And then it's in the reverse, pulling it up. I gotta pull it all the way up till there's just a little bit of the socket here showing. Then I gotta grab it with the old KNIPEX over there, pull the extension out, then pull the socket out, because there's no room because of this bracket right here to get that done. So lots of cussing, lots of swearing. I don't know why people say cussing and swearing. I don't know why I say cussing and swearing. It's the same thing, you know, you're cussing and swearing. If you're swearing, you're cussing. But yeah, nah, family channel, so can't do that. Well, this side does not look any friendlier. You got the big brake booster in the way. Looks like you might have a little room back there, but yeah, probably not going to be able to film that either. All right, let's get after it. Wait until you see how bad this one sucks. This side's worse than the other side. For one, you got to get way back there. For another, you got to disconnect this fuel line. This fuel line is in the way. It actually comes out of back there and right over the coil. So there's no way that you can not take that fuel line off. And there's another wire harness in the way. It is just a jacked up situation back there. And there's no way that I can film that, especially with all the swearing and, you know, stuff like that. Can't do that. But we got all the coils out. Now I got to get out the spark plugs. So I'm going in for my first one, you know, right down in here. Yeah, that's the situation. Can I come from the back? Nope, nope, no, no, no. So now I gotta take the extension off and the socket, drop it in the hole, and then figure out a way to manipulate the ratchet in. That's what I'm working with today. Now let me show you my next issue, besides standing on this little stool with just one foot and hanging over the edge, or hanging over the hood. Now, as I told you, I gotta drop that socket down in that hole, and then I gotta put the extension in, because I can't do it both at one time, because now this is in the way. So, now that I got it in there, and trying to pull it out, now I don't have no room because the socket's on it, and there's no way to put it, I guess I can take a long, skinny screwdriver and pull it off of there. I think that's what I'm gonna have to do, because I can't pull it out with the socket on there, because now the brake booster's in the way. Absolute nightmare. All right, finally got them all out. Had to walk away a few times, but look at that. That's those compared to those. All the rest of them were pretty much just like that. But what a nightmare. Every step of the way. And you know how sometimes you can just break these loose and then you can get them, then they're finger tight from there? Nope. These you need to ratchet the whole way out. Well, now we're just waiting on parts. So while we're waiting on parts, we're just gonna go ahead and juice these guys up with a little dielectric grease on each of these here and prep them. Just a little dab like that there. We'll do that to all of them and wait for our parts. That's that. Well, we got in some of them. They only had 8 of them in stock. I got the Denso Iridium Power. There's the part number there. So, I guess we'll be waiting still. There's a nice fresh new plug. We're just going to put a little anti-sneeze on there. Wipe it around. We're going to do them all like that and put them all back in. Everything is back in now. The nightmare is over. Cross your fingers. Now for the moment of truth. I don't feel that miss anymore. That's a good sign. Let me boot up the scan tool and I'll get back with you. Scan tool is still booting up, but I feel a little, almost like a fish bite misfire. Huh. I hope that's nothing. I definitely feel something though. This may not be good. Well, come up with the cylinder 6 misfire, engine oil pressure sensor, intake air temperature sensor, left side deployment, squib circuit 1. Let me go look into this. Well, after all that crazy work, we still got the misfire on 6. So I'm pretty sure it's a fuel injector at this point. after taking it all apart and looking at those plugs and comparing them, I figured, yep, plugs were an issue, and I should have diagnosed these fuel injectors at the same time. I should have checked them all out, hooked up the scope, but I didn't do it, so misdiagnosed this one. She definitely needed plugs anyway, but we didn't fix it. That was a rookie mistake. I should have checked that fuel injector. I was just really hoping. If you're not testing, you're guessing. Bit us this time. Guess we got to get the rip and tearing, taking all this stuff back off and get the scope out and do some testing. Yes, like we should have did in the first place. All right, we got the scope set up. We got the blue one into 6, and we got the red one into 4. We're gonna get the scope here. We're gonna run it. We go start it. All right. Well, that doesn't look half bad. I'll stop it right there and then go zoom in. I had it on 200 volts just in case. I didn't want to burn my scope up, but to get a little better picture there, but I got 100 volts. I went down 100 and started it again. But so look at it. Look at the waveform. So far, I can't see anything that's too horrible. Let me set this down. Got you guys on a tripod now. I zoomed in on cylinder 6, our bad one, and I don't see anything wrong with this waveform. I wouldn't have said anything's going on. Let's get back here. Let's zoom in on a couple of these on, now where is it? Come on. And that's on 4 right there. I mean, it looked the same. Well, if I did the test, I would have said there's not anything wrong with that. So all the injectors look good. So why in the heck is that cylinder not getting what it needs? We have to find out. Well, maybe it doesn't do it right off the rip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to run it for a little bit, wait till it's really doing its thing, and then I'm going to check these again. Well, I tried a different injector. I think I'm in 6 and 2 now, and everything looks the same. So looks like we're going to have to go for ignition. If you remember, we did swap the coils, and it still remained on 6. So I don't know what we're going to find, but let's check it out. When I hopped in the truck, I looked at the scan tool and I saw a couple more codes in there. One for the intake air temperature sensor and one for the oil pressure sensor. So got a little sidetracked, started hunting those down. I got the scan tool out here now. And intake air temperature doesn't seem bad. I unplug it, goes straight to 5 volts. And the oil pressure, now that ain't right. Truck's not running, says it's 103.2. I broke out my amp clamp and had this piece of tape on here. You can tell I didn't want to lose that 9-volt battery. Here's my setup now. I got the amp clamp and I got it tied into I think that's F63, something like that. But anyway, that's the fuse for the coils. And I didn't have one of those handy dandy little amp rings, so I kind of made my own with the probes I got. I just stuck 2 of them in where the fuse goes, and then I connected them through here, and I'm going through the 20 amp fuse, taking the amperage of it. And then I got my blue probe into the problem cylinder fuel injector. So I'm going to go crank it up and see what we got. know, I'm hearing a ticking down in here. Huh. I don't know if we got some internal damage. Hear that? Yeah, I'm hearing a ticking for sure. Might be our misfire. Let me go shut this off. Alright, let's see what we got as far as waveforms go. We just take like a few revolutions here. Well, I wouldn't be able to tell you that that's any kind of coil, that's for sure. Maybe a little charging here and then boom, you know, it collapses. Charging collapse, but you know, other than that, it just looks like garbage. I don't know if it's my Hantek probe or what. I am still getting the hang of this scope thing. I just got this Automotive scope not too long ago, and I'm not a big waveform guy. I'd like to be, but anyway, here's our fuel injector. All them fuel injectors look good. All the I'm obviously taking an amp reading of all of the coils, and they all look the same. So all the fuel injectors look the same. All of the coils look the same. We just changed the plugs. I believe we have some internal damage. We probably got some cam issue, or you know, there's definitely something wrong in there. It's the only thing I can think of. Somebody leave me a comment in the comment section and tell me what you think of that. You scope readers out there, who I just got, you know, just cheap equipment. Let's see, I got this on, man, can't see. There's my settings on that. There's my settings on the scope, you know, 500 milliseconds per division. Got 100 volts for the injector. I got 20 amps on the amp clamp. And that's what I got. Like I said, you folks are seeing the beginning of my scope career. Well, let's be honest, you're basically seeing the beginning of my professional mechanic career. I haven't been doing it professionally for very long. I've been tinkering cars all my life, but you know, cars are getting crazy nowadays, and there's so much crap out there now, and all these electrical things and programming stuff. That's still got a long way to go. But we are hearing that tick, and I do not feel like pulling this valve cover. And at this point in time, I can't figure it's anything else. I could probably take in compression, you know, a compression test on it or something like that in cylinder, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think of that. Just in case you guys want to see what this thing looks like on the waveform, I'll show you that too. I tried it, didn't get much out of it. They all pretty much look the same. I'm not suspecting a coil or a fuel injector. Okay, she's running. I'm going to run the scope. Now I got to fix that, sorry. It was zoomed. Alright, got the scope going. I got this thing placed on coil 2. Not sure how it looks. I can't see the screen. Now I'm going to put it on coil 4. Sure you got some kind of waveform out of there. Now I'm going to put it on the problem child, number 6. So there's that. Now I'm going to put it on, adjust this thing. Now I'm going to put it on 8. And that's 8. Alright, I'm going to pull it off. Stop the waveform. Were we getting anything? Okay folks, going back into the very first one. I'll zoom in here. Just get a few. I mean that's closer to an ignition waveform than the amp clamp was, but still garbage. I mean, if this was the current ramp here, here's the fire and here's the ripple after. That's just, I mean, just, that just doesn't look like anything that I can really read. But what I do know is that they pretty much all look the same, including number 6. I'll get the zoom on there. Yeah, same garbage. We'll go to another block here. I gotta get that. Pico 7 is definitely a little different from 6. Seems like 6 is easier to operate. You get the little hand on there. Yeah, but same garbage. I know the equipment is not all that great, but I seem to be getting pretty much the same thing on all the ignition coils. So I think the only thing to do here is to take the valve cover off, and the customer needs this vehicle tomorrow. So I don't know if I'm digging in like that. Well, folks, what do we know? What do we learned? Well, we learned that I need to practice what I preach. Test, don't guess, you know. But to be honest with you, if I tested this and came up with these conclusions that the fuel injectors were good and the coil was good, I'd probably change them plugs anyway. But we just ended up right where we are. Didn't solve the problem. Not the best with waveforms, but to me, when every other injector looks the same and every other coil looks the same and they're doing fine, I mean, I can match things up. So I'm not thinking that any of that's bad. I'm thinking we have a mechanical issue now, and the only way to figure that out is to take the valve cover off. I'm hearing a little bit of a tick, but nothing that I would think is bad enough to have a misfire. But we have one, and to me, I don't think that the coils and the fuel injectors are bad. You guys will have to help me out on that one. You know, you've seen the waveforms. Check them out. Tell me what you think. But I think I need to get this valve cover off and take a good look, because I do hear the ticking. But yeah, I'd have changed them plugs anyway, because I didn't hear that bad of a ticking. But I don't know. We'll see. I tried to call the customer, let her know where I'm at, what's happening. I can't get a hold of her. Her mailbox is full, so I can't leave a message. I took her to get a rental car for the day. She's got to drop it off tomorrow, so at 10 o'clock she's coming here. And at this point, can't talk to her. So I don't know. That's where we're at, folks. I'll let you know more when I know more. Oh, a couple more things I wanted to tell you. I went through the scan tool to try to find a fuel injector balance test. Didn't find one on there about it. Tried to do a power balance test. It says it's unable to do it on this model, so can't really see anything on a graph or anything. So got shot down twice on that one too, so that's that. I'll have to get authorization to take this cover off, valve cover, to see what's going on in there. But like I said, can't get a hold of the customer, so that's where we're at. I did one more test here. I got the probes into the power, just to make sure that we're not dropping out in power. Oh, there it is. And then I got the other one into the signal to command it to fire. And here's what I got. This is cylinder 4, the known good. You can see it's got the dwell here, burn line. Looks fairly good. That one kind of drops off like that, but it's a spark, so coil's good, spark plug's good, it's getting everything it needs. I'm thinking it's time to open up this valve cover. And this morning we did get authorization to investigate. So I guess we're going to continue. So this is the plan. I think I'm going to take the negative battery cable off, get the wires disconnected off of the PCM here, disconnect all the fuel injectors and coils so that I can just take that wiring harness, get it out of my way, and then just proceed to take the coils off and take the valve cover off and see what we got. I was doing a little research last night, and I found out that these things have an inherited problem on the camshaft. What will happen is the lifter will lock up and just scrape the cam right down, and then the valve won't be opening very far and causing misfires. So we'll see if that's what we got. Of course, I had big problems with this here. This came out and separated from here, so the lever wasn't working. It's not pushing that up and down, so I had to take a pick and manually disconnect it. That took a while. So right out of the gate, this is bad, and I'm having connector problems. Anyway, the plan's not going to work to take this harness and just wrap it over to the other side, because we got that, we got this bulk connector, we got a ground, we got all kinds of wires here still connected in the back. You see all that. Have to disconnect a bunch more, and then there's some more that goes under the fender, and I don't know. So we're going to try to get away with not doing that. I'm just going to go ahead and proceed with taking the coils off and get this valve cover off. And just to let you see how uncomfortable this is how I have to be the whole time. One leg like this, getting in here working with all this stuff. I gotta get deep in the motor. Obviously the truck is high, so I gotta be wrapped over the hood like this, or the fender. It's a very uncomfortable job. Had to get the moving blanket to protect the side there. I didn't want the ladder, which often slips out from under me because of the pressure that I gotta have just to get under where I'm at. So I'm gonna get back to it and stop crying. I think I might be ready for the big reveal. Let's see. Well, the cover's not even budging right now. I don't know. I think I got all the bolts. I'm going to check service data and make sure that's everything. It says there's only 10, so we got 10. Let's try to get this thing off. Where's all right. That's promising. Come on, baby. I was gonna take all them fuel injectors loose, but man, it just felt like I was gonna break the little red tab, so I'm trying to get away with it. I got a little clip on the wiring harness out here. It is just trying to fight me, of course. There we go. She's out. Visually so far, I don't see anything, but I'm gonna have to have somebody help me out and crank this motor while I watch these valves going up and down. See if one is going up and down a little less than the others. So I gotta get me some help or a remote starter or something. All right, gas pedal to the floor and crank it. Yep. All right, that's good. All right, hold. I'm gonna have you do it one more time. All right, I don't know if you saw that real good from way up there, so I got you off the tripod now. I want you to watch that valve right there. All right, go ahead and crank it. Pedal down. Pedal all the way to the floor, yep. Not moving at all. Just moving like these. That's it. All right, thank you. That's it. We found the problem. Well, there you go, folks. That's definitive. We have mechanical issues. Either we got a collapsed lifter, which I don't think we do. I don't know. Either way, we know that that valve is not opening. So lifter, cam lobe, severely bent push rod. I don't know. It looks tight when I go down there. I can't move it that much, but that's the issue. Well, I just got off the phone with the customer, told her the bad news, and she just said throw it back together and she'll limp it around, I guess. So that's that. Well, so what do we know? What do we learn? Well, we know, I guess I'm part of the parts changer club now. I didn't do my due diligence and check all the things that I needed to check. Should have done the fuel injectors and the ignition and all that stuff before I changed all the spark plugs, but it is what it is. But we got to the root of the problem, and I know I'm going to start practicing what I preach, and I'm going to start testing, not guessing. I could have swapped the plugs too from cylinder to cylinder. That'd have been better, instead of just going to buy all these new iridium spark plugs that aren't going to fix it. But anyway, live and you learn. You guys get to watch that kind of action go on right here in front of you. I give it to you straight, uncut, unedited. You'll see my mistakes, you'll see the fixes, the good, the bad, the ugly. So that's going to be it for this one, folks. I appreciate you watching. I'll see you on the next one. Oh, one more thing. I'd like to know from you folks out there. Let me know how you would charge for this. What would you charge for? We did the plugs. That didn't fix it. They're pretty pricey plugs. I think the list on this is like almost 20 a plug. But obviously that didn't fix it. I know what I'm going to charge for. I'm going to charge for the diagnostics time and you know, putting it all back together and that, and that's going to pay for the plugs basically. Other than that, it's probably going to be a loss, a learning lesson, we'll say. All right, thanks again. Leave a comment. I'll see you on the next one.